Okay, there's a little bit of glare on my iPad, but I want to show you a couple of apps that I have downloaded to my iPad. The first one is something called Fractions Plus, and let me zoom back out on this and let's show you what I've got here. Okay, this is a great application that could be used if you are in the classroom and you have access to a dongle that can be used, and I thought I had mine handy, but it appears that I don't. But there is a dongle that you can connect in the same location that you connect your iPad piece, and it will take and connect from here to a USB port on a computer, or it will connect to using a 9-pin projector so that you can directly connect your iPad to a projector that doesn't have Wi-Fi. Now, if you've got a projector that has Wi-Fi, you go on your iPad, turn it on, and then you can share and see this whole piece. Now, what this is a fraction calculator. So, if you look at the two pieces here, this part over here represents a whole number. Okay, this part on the top represents the numerator, the part on the bottom represents the denominator. Okay, so let's say I want to put 1/2 in. So I would press 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and that gives me 1/2. And let's say I want to add to that another half. 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And now we know that fractions can be added by adding the numerator. So if I have 1/2, I add another half, I end up with 2 halves, which when reduced is actually 1. Okay, let's do something a little more difficult. Alright, let's say we have 1 and 1/2. Okay, and we want to add to, let's say we want to subtract from that 1/2. So we know that's going to be 1. So let's subtract 3 halves from it and see what happens. Because we know 3 halves can be written as a mixed number as 1 1/2. Okay? And we should get 0 when we do this. So if students are practicing doing fractions, the fractions calculator will give them numbers in lowest terms. Okay, for example, 5/3 plus 9/4. Now watch what happened. It changed 5/3 to 1. Whoops. Alright. 5/3 plus 4. See, 5/3 changed to 1 2/3 plus 9/4. And when I hit the equals button, 9/4 then converts to a mixed number, and it's 2 1/2. So this is another thing. Not only can we add, we can also see the decimal equivalent to it. So if I zoom in here, right up above it here at the top, I have a decimal equivalent and a fractional part. Okay, so now I know that in many schools the use of technology is, in terms of phones, is frowned on. But if a student has an iPhone, and most of them do these days, even those that are in elementary school. But the other thing that you have is a lot of schools, rather than buying computers right now, are buying iPads. And there are lots of different things that you can download with that. Now, another application, I think this one is it. It's called Math Tutor. And you can, yes, Okay, you have to register. It's free. Okay, and if you look here, you can see that I have registered. It's got my name there. And I can do, let me make this just a little darker here. Okay. And when I click on this, okay, I don't want to buy, I just do the free one. I have integers, decimals, and then I have fractions, and I click on it, and then I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So this is really good practice. So now notice you can buy different levels if you want to purchase this, but again, that's money. This one is not. So if I click here, now this is practice for the student. So this is addition. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. Alright, so the student would have to be able to understand that that's like 1.5 and that's like 3. So 1.5 and 3 would be 4 and then 1/2. So it's just a little bit different than the other one is, but then you hit enter and you get a check mark and it's timing. If you notice right up here at the top right corner, you've got 39 seconds. Okay, you have 10 problems with each set. So let's say we're practicing fractions, so maybe you have 5 iPads in your classroom. Students have learned to do this so they can do their paper, they can put the numbers on, and they can go in there, and then when they finish, they can share with you their grade. And the grade is not so much what you're interested in. You're interested in, you're obviously interested in looking at a grade being 10 out of 10. But so the other thing you're doing is you're looking at getting more numbers correct. So if you start out with 2 out of 10, then the next time you want to increase that to 5 out of 10 or whatever, as long as we're going up. And then you want to decrease. The other option might be the student might take forever but be able to get all 10 correct. And then what you want to do is look at what's called fluency, which means being able to do lots of problems quickly. So then you're talking about decreasing time. So this is just 2 apps that you can use for fractions. Now, I also have downloaded Khan Academy, and you can't see that, but that's also, it's also an application, and you can download Khan Academy and then identify what it is that you want to do videos on, and then you can watch it as long as you have an internet connection. So a couple of apps that can be used in fractions.